Hello, my dear students. It's nice to be back once again. Even today, I will be discussing with you on the topic of basic concepts, okay, which we have started, and for class 11, and it will be in your unit 2. In my previous class, we had discussed about what is a society, and we had discussed that society is a component of individual which have various characteristics, and we also discussed about the different types of characteristics which we find in a society, such as common culture, common identity. There are some common languages which they speak among each other. Along with that, they also inhabit a common territory, and there are some types of social control in the society. We have discussed about the different aspects of society in our previous class, and today I would like to discuss a little bit about the social group. Okay, social group. Now, social group. I'm very sure almost all of us, we must be knowing what this social group is all about. Here, social group here means, for so many people, they would say that it is just a group of people. Social group may be just a group of people, the first. The second is that, maybe there are some group of people who have some, certain characteristics which connects each other. Some of them, they might say the same. But, according to the sociologists, they cannot just agree to a group of people who assembles. Okay? Why? Because, it can be a group of people who might assemble, but they might not have a common agenda among themselves, or they might not have any relationship. For example, if you go to a crowded place, it is also a group of people, but you cannot call them a social group. Why? Because, they have hardly any relationship to each other. Or for example, all the Nagas, almost all of us, we look alike. Why? Because we belong to the Mongolian race, right? And now what happened is that, okay, since we look alike, doesn't mean that, okay, we belong to the same social group here. So what does it mean by the term social group here? Social group, obviously, it's a group of people, but they need to have social relationship. They have social relationship among each other, and that is very, very important here. Now, here, the social relationship, social relationship plays a very important role in the life of the social group, and this is the reason why it is also called as a social group, okay? McIver and Page, they say that, a social group is a collection of human beings. See, it is a collection of human beings. That is what it says, okay? Means the individuals in the society first, and he also says that who are proud into social relationship with each other. They have a certain social relationship with each other, and that is what it means by social group. Okay, it is a group of individual or group of human beings, okay, who have social relationship. They have a certain relationship with each other, and that is something which they cherish. And this is the reason why they are called as social groups, okay? And this is the reason why they are called as social groups. Now, the next point is, page number 19 in your third paragraph, okay? The characteristics of social group. There are some characteristics, there are some features of social groups which we see in the society, okay? So what are those characteristics here? Now, the first is social group is also a collection of individuals, okay? Collection of individuals. Without the individuals or without the human beings in the society, okay, this is very difficult to define. Why? Because if the individuals are not there, we cannot call it a social group, right? And as we all know, man is a social animal and we cannot live alone. Why? Because we need, other human beings in order to survive. We cannot just live alone. Why? Because we coexist with each other. We interact with each other. And, as human beings, we are interactive social animals. That is what we call, right? And that is the reason why we have a society. And thus, we are a collective of individuals, okay? So when we're talking about social group, it's a collective of individuals. The groups may be big or it may be small in number, okay? However it may be, okay, it is also called a social group. And in your textbook, it says that there must be at least 2 members, okay? 2 members, So that makes a social group. The next point is about pattern of interaction, okay? So social group has a pattern of interaction between the members, okay? So here what happens is that without such interaction there can be no group. So what happens is that without any interaction in the society, okay, do you think there will be a social group, or do you think there will be a social relationship? No. Because of the interaction, okay, because we have people around us, right, from small to big, right? The interaction can be just a small one or maybe a big one, right? For example, you need some help. Now what happens is that you interact with those people, you cooperate with people, right? So that in the same way, they also cooperate with you, right? You help each other during the time of need, right? So in that way, there is a social interaction which is built in the social group, and thus social interaction is an important aspect, important feature of the social group. That is what it means here. Now, here, the next is that, okay, social interaction distinguishes a group from other collection of individuals such as category or aggregate, okay. So what happens is that, it can be an aggregate of people, it can be a group of people, it can be just a group of people who come together, and then, they socialize among themselves. But what happens is that once you go to the market, like I've told you, there can be a crowd of people, and where, in that particular crowd, you might not interact with each other, see? And this interaction also brings the distinction between just a group of people and a social group. That is what it means here. The next is, a social group has an enduring character, okay? Enduring character means the character or the ways of life of the people living in a social group, extends for a long period of time, sustains for a long period of time, So in that manner, it has a very long sustenance, okay? So it has a very long, it has a longevity, which is being cherished by all the members of the social group, okay? For example, your village, okay? Now what happens is that you have an organization. Now you intermingle with each other, or for example, you have a peer group, you have a small group of friends. What happens is that, you don't just meet once in a year, but you keep on meeting each other in order to interact with each other, in order to share your problems, right? And in that way, that particular characteristics, it lasts for a long period of time, okay? So that is the reason why it says that social group has an enduring character, okay? So like I said, okay, when we talk about the human beings, no man can live alone. It is something which is cherished by all the human beings, and thus they react with each other, they interact with each other, okay, and then they live a peaceful and harmonious life in that particular manner. The next is page number 20 in your first paragraph. Kindly flip through, it talks about the classification of social groups, okay. So classification of social groups. Now, the social groups are being classified into in different ways, okay, taking into consideration of certain categories, okay. There are certain categories which we put into action so that it can be classified into various social groups. The first is based on size, okay. There are some social groups, okay, which are divided based on, or which are classified based on size, okay. Some are small in group, some are large in group, and some are classified based on membership and non-membership. How do we define them? We can define it in such a manner, we can call them as in groups and out groups, okay. We can define it in that particular manner, okay. So we can classify, the different groups into in groups and out groups based on the membership, based on the membership or non-membership, whether he is a part of that social group or not. Some may belong to that particular social group. Some may not belong to the social group also. Okay, so that is how this has been classified. We will be discussing about them, one by one in detail. Okay, now the next is that it is also based on orientation. Okay, some into reference groups also. We call it as reference groups. For example, if that particular person has some extraordinary talent or he is doing something good in the society, we take those people as reference group for us. We admire them. We want to be like them in the future, right? For example, you want to become an IAS officer in one day, and there is a person in your society who is an IAS officer. You aspire that person. You want to be like him. So you refer yourself to be like him, in the coming days, right? So reference group, that is what it means here. And also based on the quality of relationship, the quality of relationship. So what are those quality of relationship? It can be a primary group or a secondary group. So based on some criteria, okay, such as membership, non-membership, based on the closeness, the quality, okay, and all those criteria, they divide among each other. Okay, so there is a certain classification which has been based, which is made based on those certain criteria. That is what it means here. So in that way, it has been classified. Okay, in that way, it has been classified. So let's go to the first point here. Okay, the first point is about the primary groups and the secondary groups. Okay, so there are certain groups here. The first one is the primary group. Okay, P-R-I-M-A-R-Y, primary groups. Okay, so primary group. Now, what are they here? Okay, here in this particular primary group, in simple terms, it says that it has a face-to-face association and cooperation is there. Okay, so there is a certain way of cooperation and face-to-face relationship is what they cherish under this primary group. But let's make it very, let's go it in a very systematic manner. There is a person called as Coolley. Okay, C-O-O-L-E-Y, Coolley. Okay, C-O-O-L-E-Y. Now, Coolley has given some very different descriptions, or he has given 5 basic characteristics about, primary group. Okay, he has given some descriptions. Okay, 5 characteristics about the primary groups. What are they? The first point is face-to-face interaction. See, face-to-face interaction. So he says that, there is always a face-to-face interaction among the primary groups. Okay, primary groups, for example, your family, our family, peer groups, or maybe your close relatives. Now what happens is that kind of relationship is called primary. When the group might be very small, but you come in contact with each other, and you feel like you express yourself, you can be yourself at your best with those people, and that is the reason why there is always face-to-face interaction. Someone in your Instagram followers, or maybe your Facebook friend who is living in other country, you might be having some a good relationship with that person, but that kind of relationship cannot be called as a primary group. Until and unless you have this face-to-face interaction, according to Coolley. That is what it says here. So face-to-face interaction, where you can sit, where you can talk to them, you can have food together, and then you can have a nice chit-chat with that particular person, right? So that is called as a face-to-face interaction. And according to Coolley, he says that the first basic characteristics of primary group is face-to-face interaction. That is what he says here. The next is unspecialized character of association. There is no particular sanction, where you must build the relationship with that particular person. It's independent of any kind of organization. You can mingle with anyone you like, and you are mingling with that person, based on your decision. It doesn't mean that some organization must ask you to, force you to go and, interact with that person and do, and have a close relationship with that particular person. No, it's not like that. So, unspecialized characteristic or character of association, that is what it means here. Now, the next is relative permanence, okay? So that kind of relationship that you build is permanent. It's not like, today you have a family, it's broken tomorrow. No, it's not like that. That particular bond is enduring, okay? It sustains for a long period of time. That is what it means here, okay? Now, the next point is limited size and limited membership. Like I've mentioned, the group might not be very big. It might be just limited to around like 5 to 10 friends only, okay? We might be having a lot of friends, but there are some true friends whom we really trust. There are some few trusted friends only. And it may vary from 5 to 10 members only, right? Even in your family also, your family consists of around 5 to 10 members, but not more than that, right? So that is the reason why it says that in primary group, okay, the members are limited, okay? Limited size and limited membership. That is what it means here. The next is intimacy among the members. Yes, you're very close to that particular person, and that is the reason why it is called as intimacy, okay? You have an intimate relationship with those people in the primary group, okay? And that is very, very important here. You can express yourself, and that is why I have mentioned you can be at your best with those particular people, okay? Now, Goli, okay, he gives important idea about the primary group. So I would request you to kindly, underline that particular name, Kuli, okay? It's there on your page number 20. You will find it in the last paragraph as well. Now, membership, okay, here is the nursery of human nature. So that is one thing, okay? Primary group is one thing, which builds the basic foundation or basic relationship for every human being. That is what it means here, okay? It builds the basic relationship, okay, for every human being, the nursery of human nature, okay? It builds the human, the relationship between, various individuals. That is what it means here. The next is secondary group, okay? Under these secondary groups, it's quite opposite to the primary group, okay? It's quite opposite to it. Here, Oakburn and Nimkov, gives a certain illustration about who are these secondary groups and all those stuff, okay? Now, groups which provide experience lacking intimacy can be called as secondary groups. They might not be very close to each other according to Nimkov, Oakburn and Nimkov, O-G-B-U-R-N. I repeat again, O-G-B-U-R-N, Oakburn and Nimkov, N-I-M-K-O-F-F, Nimkov, okay? So Oakburn and Nimkov says that, in secondary groups, you need to have relationship, but that kind of relationship is not intimacy or intimate, means it is not very close. You might know a person, but you might not know that person very personally. That is what it means here. And that group of people are called as, secondary group according to Nimkov and Oakburn, okay? And there are some certain categories, which has been given by this particular person. Formal relationship. In an institution, you go and work in an office. Now what happens is that you build some relationship with those people because you meet them in the office. It's just a formal organization only, and that is the reason why, you build a formal relationship with that person. That particular relationship may not last very long, okay? The next is, like I mentioned, lack of intimacy. There is no closeness among the members. The last one is that unlimited or large size. Here, the size of the family, size of the members might be very large, okay? You might be having thousands of friends in your Facebook, but those friends are not your close ones. See, the size may be very big, but, okay, you might be very intimate to some few people only. So, large size, in the secondary group, you may find a large group of friends. That is what it means here, okay? So, in the next class, we will be discussing more about the groups, okay? So, with that, I would like to conclude our classes today. Thank you.